Here we go. This is one of the moments I was waiting to like finish a talk about this kind of not being vegan and the sense and logic that's involved in it. This guy here is a carnivore, 100%, and he is one of the sweetest, most gentle, most beautiful kitties that you could ever know. His name is James, and he's a meat eater, 100%. And this is to any of you vegan people who get the notion of trying to turn a cat or a dog into a vegan. You're fucking full of shit. You're stupid. So nobody would ever think of trying to turn something like that into a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever. It's what they're designed to be, right? We know that. So I've back in the days. So you know some of my vegan background. I used to be just I used to think it was cool and hip to be a vegan, you know, and I was in the Animal Liberation Front. Some of you never even heard of that. It was one of the early groups that brought awareness to animal testing and all that kind of stuff. I think it's good to be aware of that, but I can't say that I stand behind a lot of that stuff anymore. I was more vegan, more serious vegan, more into natural food than anybody I know. And I knew this guy who was from Lebanon who grew up basically dodging bullets and things like that. And when I met him, he was a vegan, and he was what I call a fucking Nazi vegan, and was somebody that, like I said, I was more of a pure vegan than he could ever dream of being. His boyfriend at the time, they used to live kind of high on the hog out in Orange County, and he used to go to restaurants like Black Angus and order broccoli or whatever. And you know, I didn't go to places like that at all. I back then I ate whole food. I ate everything from my house. I've always been like that. I still prefer to be like that. Anyways, is I think people use systems of high evolved consciousness to kind of be warlike, you know. I have to tell you, I think a lot of vegans that I've met over the years, and as I said, I've been vegan for, I almost hit 25 years, raw vegan. And I think over the years, a lot of the vegans that I've met are some of the biggest assholes I've ever met. Plain and simple. So anyways, more about that. You wouldn't try to make that guy over there, you wouldn't try to make him a meat eater, would you? And so I think our consciousness has evolved so much to where we maybe think too much about certain things, and we move outside of our naturalness and what's right for us. And I was turning into a mess. I was somebody who was very calm and collected and quiet, and as I got into my 30s, I kind of started turning into a prick, into an asshole also. And again, this is a classic symptom that Sally Fallon points out in some of her lectures about what happens to excessive vegans. And I do want to talk about a number of things here. And she says in that video, because of the complexity of our nervous system, that's why we need animal products. And so it may not be your thing, it may not be whatever, but I'm into the longevity thing. I want to get what works. And if you don't think that I've gotten calmer, that I'm more able to connect my thoughts better, go back and look at some of my videos. You know, especially some of the ones right around the time that the 80-10-10ers love to pick apart of my videos. and see how, see like some of these I've spent all day today just uploading videos because I don't know when I'm going to have access to a computer, just kind of getting my thoughts down, spending all day so that look at some of my videos and see how well I can connect my thoughts compared to what I could do before when I was a raw vegan. So there's a lot of truth in that. And what do you want to say, I think that we perhaps have gotten the cart in front of the horse with this veganism thing, from thinking that we don't need that stuff because it's just, again, look outside of the box and see what's going on. And for me, it's worked. And so one thing that I want to go ahead and address, and it's going to be very unpopular when I say that, but I've been wanting to save a video to say this. People are concerned about sustainability, and so am I. Now, what I want to say is, there's all these statistics about, it takes so much to make animal products and all that kind of stuff, and not enough food to go around and all that kind of stuff. And that we should eat a vegetable-based diet simply because of population and because of the weight that it puts on the earth, and so that's well said. That's good. That's a good concern. But you think that we should do without what makes us healthy and happy people, that makes us think right, that makes us do the things that we're supposed to do? Because I feel I've become very evolved. Do you think that we should turn into these crazy, like, again, I see these people that are vegans, and especially some of the older ones, like I quoted James Sheridan earlier, and he's been a long time vegan, 24 years, I think he said, just in a recent one. That guy is very, very angry. I've seen him go off a few times. I've seen him and Dr. Doug Graham at a raw food thing. I think it was one of the ones I was up at Oregon before all this started. I've seen those two go at it to the point where the next step would have been for them to get on the floor and start wrestling. So I don't think it's a good idea for that concept. So my answer to that is, get ready for this. Stop breeding. Stop breeding. Stop thinking that you have the divine right to freaking just shit out children wherever you want. Now, what I propose, and it's easy for me because I'm, by the way, for anybody that wants to know, not that I care, or I'm trying to be somewhat transparent, I am bisexual. And I actually made a conscious choice when I was about 20, when I found out that I was interested in both boys and girls, and realizing my artistic life, that I decided that I was going to choose boys because I didn't want what I saw lie ahead of me, which was a world of not getting to be an artist where the focus is on the family, where the focus is on where there's no room for artists, there's no room for rock and roll, there's no room for in any of that. That's a whole different kind of living. So you say it's easy for the faggot to say that. Well, yeah, so I don't care. But I think that people need to make a commitment to seriously not breeding anymore. And the children are going to come. There's little accidents are going to happen, and that's okay. That's okay. But there are these people that are still shitting out fucking 3 children. It's basically the only right that you have to do here with this world populated the way it is to put one more child to replace you here. And really, we've already extended well beyond that. It's too late for that, in a sense, because we don't need to keep sustaining, 6-7 billion people. So I think if we all have the idea of not breeding, that basically, as God wants, as we have our sexual relations and do whatever, a child here and there is going to slip through, but I think if it's all our main consciousness is not to have children, I think we'll make it through this, and that freaking sustainability issue, is going to slip by. I know that's very politically incorrect what I said, but it's true. It's true. So, there's way too many people on this planet, and I'll tell you right now, most of the people that I hang out with do not have children. So, I don't think that you can even live this life having children, of being into wellness, of being into, I don't even understand it. So I wasn't meaning to digress on that for so long, but I think that's an important thing to think about with being green. The greenest thing you could do is not breed. So anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit more about my diet. I've sort of taken up a lot of my time with that. But I do want to say, it's like, I think that is in our diet, and it's best to have a really varied diet, and to not deny, it's the same as you would not deny that cat some animal products. And there's a lot of other things to consider with where I'm going at. I think having a plant-based diet as well, having that heavily in there. There are things like you cannot be like Americans are also, with just eating meat and potatoes and all this shit either, because it's a diet that's completely devoid of antioxidants. You need good live plant material, what antioxidants basically do is protect us from free radicals, from the sort of exhaust from burning energy in our body. Free radicals or antioxidants get rid of that oxidation that occurs, which is aging. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration with what's a real diet, and we have moved. Why this is coming into play is because we're living longer. We're living longer than ever before. Even us fat, disgusting Americans are living because we're happier, because, for one thing, America is a very clean place. It's very hygienic. That's a good reason why we're living longer. And, we're high up there. And again, you've got to consider all things for your diet. An important culture to consider is Asia, China, places like that, where longevity has been around for a long time, and they do not eat that much of a raw food diet, or none at all, really. A lot of acupuncturists and traditional herbalists and people like that are more or less against a raw food diet at all, And in a book by Paul Pitchford, which my friend Chris pointed out to me, you've seen him in my videos, he got himself out of a health crisis with following Paul Pitchford. And Paul Pitchford postulates in his book that there's no written history of any cultures that have eaten salads or that have not eaten cooked foods. While I think that's true of written history, I think we extend beyond that. I think there was a time when our culture was greater. And if, to anybody that wants to disagree with that, I ask you to please explain the pyramids, to please explain a lot of things like that, a lot of these sort of ancient things that are painted on the ground in South America. I think there's a book from the 70s called Chariots of the Gods. Explain all that for me, please, if you will. If you don't think we were once greater. So, because Ramtha was from that time, as he claims. If you're a fan of Ramtha, or if you followed, they says he's from that time. And so, and he's an advocate of a raw diet. So, anyways, again, this is a bit about diet, what I'm thinking, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's for longevity, and it's for keeping me more of a focused, positive, will-thinking, intelligent, creative, divine soul on this planet. And it's amazing to me that a lot of vegans think they're so amazingly such peaceful people, and a lot of them are some of the biggest assholes I've ever met. So, again, namaste. I want to end up all my videos now saying I love you all, and let's change this planet. Bye.